Just know that everything behind me soon to pass away. Ballin' on our own island, no castaway. I was trying to learn the craft, I can't masquerade. Every time we make magic, yeah, gotta have the cake. They say the flowers in May, spring from the showers in April. Burning sage by the pound, all of our crystals is labeled. Try to line your read with meditation, you able. And you might get a read, tarot cards on the table. And she better have an altar in her living room. Barely ever lighting candles cause she in the mood. Not to mention love spells, she was sending through. Jump a tissue too old soon if you feeling blue. It feels strange to find a guide on a voyage. No, you ain't the same, I can feel it in your aura. Came on point like the horns of a Taurus. Say you won't change, better take that thing to oil. Have to think the constellations for the day they made you. Shit, ever since a minor, I've been playing major. Call me Private Ryan, I was trying to save you. See the stars is all the line and they designing greatness. So why be racing when we only chasing soul ties? You finna be the centerpiece of my soul tribe. No twin flame soulmates from an old life. So I'm thinking Maurice and you know why.
That girl mine, that girl mine. You don't wanna feel a black girl, right? You don't wanna make a black girl mine, but they always want with the black girl. I ain't talking about no rabbit in a hat trick. I say how it happened, this black girl. Magic. I ain't talking about no rabbit in a hat trick. I say how it happens, this black girl. Magic. And she better have an altar in the living room. Really living like candles cause she ain't a fool. Not to mention love spell, she was sending through. Jump a tissue to her soon if you feeling blue.
They say the flowers in May, spring from the showers in April. Burning sage by the pound, all of our crystals is labeled. Try to line your read with meditation, you able. And you might get a read, tarot cards on the table.
That girl mine, that girl mine. You don't wanna feel a black girl, right? You don't wanna make a black girl mine, but they always want with the black girl. I ain't talking about no rabbit in a hat trick. I say how it happened, this black girl. Magic. I ain't talking about no rabbit in a hat trick. I say how it happens, this black girl. Magic.
When it's moving through.
Dark side, dark side.
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life work.
They talked about Jesus, give them something to Babylon. Just know my whole team is battle tested and battle strong. One world speaking that Tower Babel tongue. Cold Hammurabi thinking ancient Babylon. No pun intended, Reaganomics had us under avalanche. We took off like a rocket, they was praying we could never launch into the upper echelon. You can never be yourself. Every day is Comic-Con, fast money Ramadan. Who collected Condicom? Cold check my vital signs. Motel 6 float. Woke up with the brightest mind. Out of sight, out an idle mind. They hate it when you idolize. We living in the final times. Guess you Ellen colorblind.
Spirit when it's moving through.
Dark side, dark side.
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first. it's moving through.
Dark side, dark side.
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life work.
They talked about Jesus, give them something to Babylon. Just know my whole team is battle tested and battle strong. One world speaking that Tower Babel tongue. Cold Hammurabi thinking ancient Babylon. No pun intended, Reaganomics had us under avalanche. We took off like a rocket, they was praying we could never launch into the upper echelon. You can never be yourself. Every day is Comic-Con, fast money Ramadan. Who collected Condicom? Cold check my vital signs. Motel 6 float. Woke up with the brightest mind. Out of sight, out an idle mind. They hate it when you idolize. We living in the final times. Guess you Ellen Keller blind.
Spirit when it's moving through.
Dark side, dark side.
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life work.
Put my soul on the altar, I never offer a sacrifice. The blood that we need for the lamb ain't never acting right. I take my path tonight, knowing that I might have to fight. I probably grab a knife and a 9. I guess I'm packing light, focus on the now. Just as much as the afterlife, I recognize the spirit is only taking up half the fight. Stairway to heaven, he won't make it up half a flight. He working, making bacon, bitch, probably out on the Sabbath night. Shoot for the moon, hoping to hit a satellite. You can ask him why when they see me, they call on Adonai. When we both know at the most he telling you half a lie. Feel the transition begin to happen when passing time. I came back in the sky, just like an astronaut, to say you selling Africans out. See you and asking Mike, and it's sad to say they really had it bad for Christ. And I hear the Habasha thinking they are the half
The
is white.
spirit when it's moving through.
Dark side, dark side.
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life work.
All right, can y'all hear me now? How we sounding? Mic check, mic check. We good? We good. Mic check. Is we good? Cause I gotta beat this shit up real quick. Did y'all even hear the entrance? God damn. Mic check. Am I back in business? Thank you. Let's go. All right, here we go. So now I can go ahead and cook this shit, man. Damn. Once again, for the slow people in the back. For the slow people in the back, what is African spirituality? All good. Y'all heard the music? Nothing after the music? Oh shit. Well, y'all already know, man. I gotta give uh y'all already know how we gotta start this out, man. Power to the dark side family. Gotta give a special praise to the most beautiful goddess of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, Stemia, whose image is the most beautiful Whoopi Goldberg. Period. There's a dot on the end of that. Period. So shout out to all my Babel builders in the building. Remember, if you are listening to this, together we are Babel. Let's build. So y'all should already know what I gotta do. I told y'all I was gonna drop this for y'all real quick. So we'll run over this again. Right? Power to the dark side. Was good with the Sith Lord. What's good with you and Yame? Appreciate you in the building, God. Appreciate you. So, as y'all remember, I did a debate on is the Bible anti-African, right? But in general, we're talking about the Abrahamic faiths in general. Are they anti-African? But let's keep going. So my points for that debate was that the Bible is anti-African. Why? Because the foundation of African culture is what separates African people from the rest of the world. Now, when you talk about culture, spirituality is embedded in the culture. And when you talk about the overall structure of an African system, society in general, what are you talking about? The spirituality is woven in. You can't separate the two, right? Now, the Bible dehumanizes African people through the law and through the narrative by it in itself being anti-African. Now, according to Edward B. Taylor, is reputed as the scholar who first coined and defined culture in his work Primitive Culture and reprinted it in 1958. How it is defined: it is the knowledge, belief, arts, morals, laws, customs, or any other capabilities and habits acquired by any other man as a member of society. Now, we talk about this. This is dealing with Umo, right? This is something that he wrote in '05, The Elements of Sociology of Religion. Let's talk about it. Different languages, modes of dressing, eating, dancing, and even greeting habits. These are a part of what make you you. Even though Africans do share some dominant traits in their belief systems and have similar values that mark them out, but excuse me, and have similar values that mark them out from other peoples of the world. It possesses the concept of a supreme being which is invisible and indigenous. This is very key. It possesses the concept of a supreme being which is invisible and indigenous. No alien deities in African spirituality. The supreme being is not a fucking alien, nor a vampire. Period. It holds a belief in the existence of the human soul and that the soul does not die with the body. African traditional religions also has the belief that good and bad spirits do exist and that these spirits are what make communication with the supreme beings possible. This is important. We are talking about what defines Africans, what makes an African compared to other people on the planet. Period. The worship of different deities on different days goes on to show that African people hold their religious values in high esteem. Sorcerers and diviners are seen to be mediating between God and man and interpreting God's wishes to the mortal. That's in one way that they uphold society. But now let's keep going. But the diviners and the sorcerers and the soothsayers also, what else do? They help to streamline human behavior in the society. And people are afraid to commit offenses because of the fear of being exposed by the diviners and the sorcerers. Other words, this is another way that they keep law and order. This is important to the judicial system. Now, 5 regions in Africa, 54 countries. But yet, you still find the same thing. Now, let's talk about it. Divination, ancestral veneration, witches and wizards. Found in all 5 regions. This is Khalid Simone Medici. Right? Traditional religion and divination. Divination is widespread throughout Africa. Among many examples, it is one of the central tenets of Seri religion in Senegal. Africans being cursed before they did anything wrong. These are some of the things that we're going to see when we're talking about dealing with the Bible or the Abrahamic religions in general. But we don't even really got to get into all of that, right? But in a lot of ways, we do see African culture being described as a death sentence. Period. What else do we see in the Bible? Africans apologizing for their skin. Period. What else do we see? Africans being referred to as dogs. Period. By who? Jesus. How the fuck we supposed to accept that? But niggas will lie to you. Well, we just give the people the esoteric. So they ain't never gonna read it? Stop it. We was doing that before. Then niggas started reading that shit and got confused. And I will cut off the witch. And this is from Micah 5, 12, and 15. Chapter 5, 12 verses 15. And I will cut off the witchcrafts out of thy hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Very clear. This is what is this going against? Now, in all 5 regions, what do we find? Soothsayers, diviners, sorcerers, graving images. The graving images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee. And thou shalt no more worship the work of thy hand. And we begin to see these things kind of happen. And this is what I mean. The narrative in itself, look at who it talks about attacking. In all 5 regions, you'll find it, but in all 5 regions, it used to dominate. Now, when you look at all 5 regions, what dominates Africa now? The Abrahamic faith. Shout out to Hood Therapy. I appreciate you in the building, sis. Peace. It's saying, I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard before. Who is the heathen? Those that practice under the soothsayers. What's good with you, Monk? Appreciate you in the building, God. Peace, peace. Who are they talking about? Those who are the soothsayers, the sorcerers, the diviners, all of that. What are they talking about? The very structure and foundation of African culture. I told y'all, anytime they referring to heathen, the wild beast of the field, any of that, know who they talking about. Those who practice African spirituality. Deuteronomy 18. It says, for all that do these things are an abomination. Now you wonder why black people can't hold the fucking Bible and love who they are, and you wonder why the fuck they confused about being that. You got so anybody would rather be anything but African right now. Notice that. Why? Who would want to be attached to an abomination? For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God have drove them out from before thee. Now notice, now we gonna see what they do that's so abominable. Definitely appreciate it, God. We gonna see what exactly is it that they do that is so abominable. For these nations, which thou shalt possess, hearken unto observers of time, and unto the diviners. But as for thee, you shall not. So who's being driven out of their land? Why are they even being attacked? Because of their own culture? Think about that. Because of their own culture. Now, these are God's specific instructions about anybody practicing African culture in Exodus 22 and 18. Now watch this. I'm supposed to be trusting this Hebrew ass nigga, these Asiatic agents behind me, when Exodus 22 and 18 told them, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Nigga, I practice sorcery. Leviticus 19 and 26. Ye shall not use enchantment, nor observe times. A man also in a woman that hath a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with the stone. Their blood shall be upon them. Now, what you think is the purpose of, now, if anything go wrong, these niggas can pretend like they cool, but the moment something go wrong, who you think they gonna blame? You think we still gonna be their brothers? If a hurricane hit or the food supply run out, and somebody happens to get a message from God that you got the wizards and the fucking soothsayers around you, that's why you niggas is starving right now. How much longer do you think these Abrahamic nutcases is gonna leave their religion at the door? I just want to know. I just gotta know. How long? Deuteronomy 18 and 10. There shall not be found among you any that useth divination. How the hell they gonna leave their religion at the door? Or an observer of times? Or an enchanter? Or a witch? Or a charmer? Or a consulter with familiar spirits? Or a wizard? Or a necromancer? Man, fuck out of here. Power to the dark side, Mongo. What's good? What you got? But they supposed to be able to leave their religion at the door. Soothsayers from Ghana. Let's get into this real quick, man. Because a lot of people be playing games with this shit. The curse of Ham, right? And what they do is, what a lot of people don't understand about this whole story is that during the transatlantic slave trade, one of the things that they did and one of the things that they used in order to enslave us in the first place was the curse of Canaan, or what they call the curse of Ham. And what they said was, we had been cursed with woolly hair, uh, a flat nose, and an elongated member. This is how you can tell us apart. And this is what they sent out and told and let everybody know we was fair game. Let's keep talking though. And he said, "Cursed be the Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren." And he said, "Blessed be the Lord God of Shem and of Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant." Even when we get into Genesis, and when the Egyptians, and see what they do is they want to create this narrative, right? So notice, this is dealing with Ham, right? Notice one of Ham's sons is cursed to be a fucking slave. Now let's get into another one of Ham's sons, the Egyptian. According to the Bible, let's just we according to this bullshit narrative, mind you, we know Ham ain't come from no. We know Ham never existed, and I don't want to hear that cam shit, whatever the fuck y'all be talking about. That's bogus. That's bogus. So notice though, they want to create, now when we get to the Egyptians, look at the narrative that gets created. Now, if you notice what happened with Canaan was he's cursed, right? Another African nation. Somehow he can't control his sexual impulse with his own father. That's his stigma. Now we get to another African, which is an Egyptian, and it says, "And when the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife.' Then they will kill me, but they will let you live and say say that you are my sister." So this nigga was willing to lie and say that that Sarah was his sister. This is a situation when right before Abraham is getting ready to have his first interaction with Africa. And he says that, and for her sake, he dealt with Abram. And he had sheep, oxen, and the male donkeys, male servants, female donkeys, and camels. But the Lord afflicted Pharaoh. Now, mind you, it's one thing, I'm going to say this real quick. It's one thing for Abraham to be like, yeah, if the Egyptians see you, if they see my wife, they going to kill me and take her. Now, why would he be thinking some bullshit like that? Who fucking knows? He been traveling everywhere else with his wife. Some reason he get to the most civilized place he could be at with his goat herding ass, and all of a sudden he try to create this narrative like the Egyptians are some fucking savs and shit. Stop it, nigga. Stop it. But let's keep going real quick. So, but no, actually I did want to touch on that though. But it's one thing for Abraham to pretend like he ain't got no fucking clue. But how the hell does God not know? To the point where God is even fucking afflicting the Africans. This nigga starts afflicting the Africans with plagues and shit over a lie that was told by the nigga, by his own fucking servant. Now, what kind of shit is this? Why you ain't just tell your servant the truth? This nigga YHWH gotta be slow, man. I don't know. Shout out to Angel Food. Appreciate you in the building. Y'all make sure y'all check out. There will be, if you want, you can go ahead and drop the link too in the chat. There will be the first official comedy show on the Comedy Bridge. Check it out on Angel Food. And that will be on the 17th. So now watch what the Pharaoh or this African king tells this nigga, this dirty ass goat herder Abraham. Watch what he tells him. Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister? So that I would take her as my wife? Now then, here is your wife. Take her and go. He don't even want no dealings with this nigga. But let's go back. And it says, and I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you, I will curse. And in you and all your families shall the earth be blessed. Now, notice the curse came because Abraham was assuming that the most civilized place at that time in that area for a goat herder to even fucking go. Like, the Egyptians didn't even touch no goat herder. Like, they wouldn't want nothing to do with no Sarah, bro, who been out on a fucking goat all day. Like, stop that. These niggas was eating raw and bloody meat. They didn't even cook their food. The hell was the Egyptians finna do with Sarah? Nothing but catch something. These folks gotta be stopped. And that's what really they was telling you to happen. The clap went around. But anyway, let's just keep going. Now, here's another incident where we have this whole scenario, right? This is the big one, because this is what the Passover is based on. Mind you, the Passover is a celebration of the murder of African babies. Period. Every year. So we let Christians get away with that shit, and we let Jews get away with that shit. On a regular basis, the celebration of the Passover is the celebration of the murder of the firstborn of the African babies, according to this bullshit ass book. Now, did the shit happen? No. But the fact that they willing to celebrate that shit right in our face lets you know how disrespectful these people is. Period. That's it. Now, watch what he says. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord has spoken unto Moses. Now, notice what's happening. God is hardening Pharaoh's heart. What is Moses asking Pharaoh to do, y'all? Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember what Moses wants Pharaoh to do? Let his people go. That's what Moses is supposed to be coming and asking, right? Let my people go. What's stopping Moses from being successful? Is it the Pharaoh, or is it God hardening Pharaoh's heart? Is it the Pharaoh, or is it God hardening Pharaoh's heart? Let's keep going. So now when we get to Exodus chapter 7, verses 2 and 3, It says, "Thou shalt speak all that I command thee." Right? What we doing? We going back. Oh, notice what happened. He says, "Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, and that he shall send the children of Israel out of his land." Now watch this. "And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and will multiply signs and my wonders on the land of Egypt." Now, why the fuck does he want to harden Pharaoh? Why wouldn't he just want Pharaoh to let the people go? If anything, why not soften Pharaoh's heart? So he let these dirty goat herding, meat eating, non-bathing ass people who was probably running around naked at this time also. Why he ain't just let they dirty asses go? But instead, God is hardening his heart. So this is some double agent shit. This nigga God is sending this nigga on the mission to disrupt and cause problems that he is the reason why it's gonna be unsuccessful in the first fucking place. Now watch this. "And when it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt." Now look at this shit. "From the firstborn of the Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the..." Now we know this shit ain't happened. Let me just put that out there. This shit ain't happened. Period. They can play the games all they want. This never took place. But for the sake of the story, let's keep going. "Even the firstborn of the Pharaoh that sat on the throne." You gotta ask yourself, what fucking Pharaoh? That's all they keep saying. Pharaoh, Pharaoh. What Pharaoh? We get a Cyrus, we get a Nebuchadnezzar, we get a Artaxerxes, we get all kind of different people that cited. Pontius Pilate. They never mentioned the Africans. What the fuck was the Pharaoh's name? Solomon just dated a Pharaoh's daughter. We don't know what Pharaoh. Any Pharaoh. Like, nigga, you know how many Pharaohs it fucking was? Silly ass niggas. And it came to, so anyway. "And the firstborn of the captives that was in the dungeons." Now, goddamn. Now think about this. If people was captive in the dungeons, how the fuck was they gonna get some lamb, some blood of the lamb to spread on their doors so they firstborn wouldn't be killed? What kind of savage ass shit is this? Just think about that shit. The deal is the only people who won't lose their firstborn is the people who can get the blood on their doorposts. These niggas done got locked up. They probably locked up on some bullshit. These niggas locked up and can't even get the blood on the doorpost. They done lost their firstborn. These niggas is captives. What kind of bullshit is this? And then all the firstborn of the cattle? Like, then this nigga is killing animals and shit? Like, bro, this is some savage type of... Now we get into the songs of Solomon. The famous verse y'all hear from the Hebrews when they got their asses out there on the corner line to folks. Right? Where a woman is apologizing. They made an excuse for her blackness. But these niggas was trying to say, nah, Solomon. No, nigga, this was a black woman apologizing for being a black woman. Let's quit playing games. Now, watch what this verse says. "Oh, I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, and as the curtains of Solomon." Now watch what she starts to do. "Look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun," this is why she black, "because the sun looked upon me. My mother's children," she got a whole fucking story that she got to come up with to explain why she's black. But they supposed to be black, these silly ass things. "They made me the keeper of the vineyards. but mine, my own vineyard, have I not kept. Now, can anybody give me the esoteric bullshit ass meaning of this verse? Since niggas want to play the esoteric game, does anybody want to give me that? Period. What's the esoteric behind her apologizing? Like, give me, how am I supposed to esoterically break this shit down to my daughter? What's the esoteric meaning for her apologizing for her blackness? Don't we got enough of that shit going on? Now watch this. Now we even get to Jesus. Jesus. This nigga's supposed to be like the nicest nigga you ever met, right? He is, right? Jesus. Something about the name Jesus. Something about the name Jesus. Watch how dirty this nigga do this African woman. Now, in order for this African woman to get her daughter healed, guess what happens? She must admit that she is less than human. Who gets her to admit that? This is Jesus. Something about the name Jesus. A Canaanite woman from that vicinity came to him, crying out, Lord, Son of David, goddamn, have mercy on me. My daughter is demon possessed and suffering terribly. Jesus did not answer a word. Now, he didn't allow this stuff to get touched by niggas with leprosy. This nigga been raising dead bodies. He ain't supposed to be around no dead bodies. They opening up tombs and shit. But when it comes to this African woman, notice. So his disciples came to him and urged him, send her away. She keeps crying out after us. And he answered, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. I got to do his voice like that because that's how that weak ass nigga talk. I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. And the woman came and knelt before him. Lord, help me, she said. He replied, it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Huh? It's not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Jesus, who the fuck is a dog? Yes, it is, Lord. Watch what she said. Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Burn this goddamn book. You niggas is trying to be second-class citizens on this planet, in this land. And you okay with being second-class citizens in goddamn heaven. I'm not serving no Jew. I'm not going to heaven and serve no fucking Jews. You niggas is out of your mind. I told y'all this nigga Jesus was a goddamn agent. He was sent for one reason. To create a servant class. That's the point of Jesus. You niggas don't even get it. It's levels to this shit. The children gonna always get it first. Who are they talking about is the children. And this is, remember, we talking about God. These people are claiming that they are the children of the supreme being. And we're just dogs looking to get the crumbs off of their fucking table. Specifically, they put masters. Think about this. The throne of David is what? A big ass chair for who? A Jew. Jesus is gonna sit where? On the throne of David. Where's the kingdom at? In Israel. Who is it for? The Jews. The Christians are who? Those who are grafted in to the body of Israel. What does that mean for them? They get to come and serve. They gave their life to Jesus, to Christ, to serve him in his kingdom. A lot of people don't even know that. You're giving your life up to serve in his kingdom. When you supposed to, when this goat herding ass descendant is supposed to be serving you. Period. He's supposed to be serving you. Now, it's very simple. Let me get back to the top. There we go. I want to get it real quick. Now, once again, even though there are 5 different regions, even though there are 54 different countries in Africa, the reason why you can put them under the umbrella of African spirituality is because they do share some dominant traits in their belief system and have similar values that mark them out from other people of the planet. And the issue is when you talk about our culture, and this is what marks them out from other people, this is what makes an African an African. It's deeper than just DNA. It's deeper than just your blood. It's in your language. It's in your dress. How do you call on your God or your deity? How you uphold law and order and the structure in your society. All of these things is what makes African African. Hold on real quick. So yeah, let me go ahead and drop the link. Boom. Just in case anybody want that smoke. or anything of that nature, or anybody just want to add to the convo in general. So these things are what make you unique. This is what makes us who we are, as opposed to being a European. And the more that we give up, whether it's our culture, being language, or the way we dress, the way that we talk, how we worship, how we serve, whatever it may be, the more that we give this up, the more that we lose a part of ourselves. There's no compromise. And when you're standing next to people who's reading or holding on to tenets and principles that don't compromise, there's no compromise in what you should do with a witch according to the Bible. There's no compromise. How long do they leave their religion at the door until we what? Get into our own land, and then what? What's the plan from there? We can't take this shit no further than this. Period. Like, and that's just what it is. Now, what we do here, we form our own form of spirituality, or our own form of African spirituality. Because why? We've developed into our own tribe. We have culture, we have music, we have dance. Now it's just understanding and valuing like the connection that it has to the continent. That's a big issue. We don't have to move or leave anywhere. A lot of people are always try to make the argument you gotta go some. You don't. The whole planet is ours. We're stronger globally. The issue ain't that. It's it's two things we need. Is to have our mindset there and to understand, because we need a home base. You can't get around not having a home base. This ain't fucking home base. How the hell you supposed to gather? You supposed to be in a place you can gather intelligence and shit. How the fuck you supposed to be gathering intelligence when they got a whole fucking uh, sect in the government for that already? You want to gather intelligence here, nigga? You join the damn CIA or some shit. Like, we got shit we gotta do. You need the space to be able to do that. This ain't it. And at the end of the day, what niggas is trying to talk about is building a nation within a nation. And they think they can do that smoothly without war. Or that they can just, that people just gonna watch you build up a nation all the way until you strong enough to fucking fight right up under their nose. If you don't get that shit up out of here, that ain't finna happen. We strategize and strategize and strategize, which I fail to realize we're 50 years of fucking behind, bro. We're already 50 years behind. And probably further than that by now, with as far apart as black people have grown from each other. It's time to invoke chaos, period. Shit is just, that's the only, our best chance is full chaos and seeing what happens when the smoke clears, period. Nigga, we need the fucking lights to cut off. You niggas is tripping. We need that shit. First off, that's gonna make your ass get the fuck up out. and go make something happen. But second of all, nigga, we gotta even the playing field. We gotta figure out ways to even the playing field. I heard niggas was like, yeah, talking against an EMP and shit. I'm like, nigga, we fucking need that shit. If that happened, nigga, that's like, bro, that's like a nigga been holding you hostage, bro, the whole time, and he dropped the pistol. Like, what, bro? I'm finna slide this nigga, bro. He fumbled the pistol, nigga. Oh, like, nigga, you need this nigga to fumble in the moment he do, you gotta slide this nigga right now. And right now, I'm fumbling that, like, man, that's the lights. The lights gotta go. How people get food gotta go. Yeah, it sucks, and it's gonna suck. It's going to suck. I promise you that. It ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty, but I promise you, our babies will come out on top. We survived in worse conditions. All we gotta do is go through the fire. Our babies will be coming out with when the smoke while the smoke is clearing. I'm telling you. They already ready. That's why they born out. Eyes is wide open. Day one, babies coming out, eyes is wide the fuck open. They already have an attitude. Like they already know the bullshit. They ready to go ahead and get through the little stages so they can get going. They're only gonna be more and more ready. We've got to stop holding back the future. Like we're at this point, we're holding back liberation because of fear. The importance and the point of agape energy is because you're supposed to be able to show love in their struggle for your people and in general, right? And for people of this struggle, you're supposed to be able to show a kind of love that's where you're willing to lay your life down for no gain of your own. Niggas is trying to make revolutionary moves and make sure that they alive to see it. No, nigga. No. You blessed if you alive to see it through. But nigga, that ain't the goal. The goal is to make sure that the babies and our babies see it through. The goal is so our babies are where are supposed to be at. They got more command and control over the direction that they go as a people, as opposed to what we do. It ain't about us. It ain't about us. Somebody is going to have to suffer. You rather it be your babies or your babies' babies? Like, what kind of nigga is you? Like, what type of shit is this? No, it's supposed to be us. You're the sacrifice. You're the change. What makes non-participation so powerful is that everybody can do it. What makes love the most powerful weapon is that everybody can hold it. Everybody can hold it. I mean, when it come down to sacrifice, everybody can make sacrifice. Period. Whether you disabled, whether you tall, short, strong, not strong, whatever the fuck the case is, you can make a sacrifice. But that's when you talk about love and sacrifice, now you're getting into agapic energy. Now you're getting into agapic energy. I'm sorry, I'm feeling the unholy spirit right now. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. The moment you get love and sacrifice, now you're talking about agapic energy. That's when you start to see change. Because when you're willing to sacrifice, you can't compromise. Part of the sacrifice is when you begin to make yourself uncomfortable for the collective. You have to begin to make yourself uncomfortable for the collective. Now you're talking about sacrifice. I'll tell y'all, when you look at the civil rights movement, it's only an example of what needs to happen. It's only that's a minute that's on a minute scale. When you just look at the bus boycott, that's just a small scale of what non-participation looks like. Even when you look at what happened when you stop going to work, just during what just happened a few years ago, nobody went to work. They had to pay your ass to spend money. And it crippled the economy to that now, bro. And they still, not only can they not get people back at work, they still can't get people back to work. They still can't get people to pay rent. They still can't get people to move the fuck out from where they ain't paying rent. And what are they doing? They trying to get their fucking money back. I told y'all like we've fallen already into the system, and a lot of times we be looking like, nah, you know, and this is the problem when they continue with these when we fall into the normal biblical narrative, because they will have you waiting on some shit that's already fucking here. You already in your tribulation. You already accepted the mark of the beast. Nigga, the moment that you decide that this society is is what you decide to participate in, then that's the acceptance of it, bro. Because you know outside of this society, what? It's gonna be hard for you to eat, and it's gonna be hard for you to have shelter. You're gonna be uncomfortable. You know, you can choose outside of this society. It's there. You don't have to be a part of the system. But at the end of the day, what do you know? It's much more comfy here. The bread and water is plentiful here. So they believe. But I don't know if y'all paying attention, but every day that you walk into your store, the shelves is getting emptier and emptier. You're starting to see less and less on the shelves daily. You're starting to see less and less daily. No matter how many times you circle that aisle, that cereal ain't gonna be back on the fucking shelf. It's not coming back. Less and less trucks is doing delivery. Less and less places. Why? Because they're having trouble finding people who want to drive. They're having trouble finding people who want to work overnight. Everything is getting harder and harder for the illusion to stay up. I'm telling you, Walmart gonna keep continuing to close earlier and earlier. Used to be able to make a Walmart run at any time. They can't. They missing a whole shift. Ain't nobody fucking with it. The gas stations are staying open 24 hours. We 2 years after, 3 years later, the mug still ain't opening back up. They can't find nobody past 11. Yo, definitely. So definitely. So with that being said, I want to appreciate everybody who came in, everybody who hit the Cash App, everybody who hit the like button, everybody that also hit the subscribe button. I want to appreciate everybody for that. Definitely, especially if you enjoyed this presentation. Hopefully I brought a little bit of clarity to some questions that people was asking. For the people in the back, they probably will never get it. But like I said anyway, shout out to all my Babel builders. Y'all already know what time it is. Remember, if you are listening to this, together we are Babel. Let's build. I'll give y'all this.
Yeah. Hit the lights in the cam. I owe her and her friend. Hit the lights in the cam, I need action. I owe her and her friend off the back end. Can you imagine? They both started capping. Give them both dick, hold them close, now they back friends. Hit the lights in the cam, I need action. I I owe her and her friend off the back end. Can you imagine? They both started capping. Give them both a dick, hold them close, now they back friends. Pocket full of time, she gon' give me each and every dime. Stars on the line, I was reading each and every sign. Guarantee I got her coming each and every time. My shit different, you believe she coming in her mind. And it's divine, you define what it's made for. She can make it rain like it's April. Now you can't leave me stiff with this pole out. You know, do something to me when your toes out. Hold you on your neck, feet pointed at the ceiling though. Dick hit your lung, and your breathing getting critical. Trying to swim up out of this is gonna be difficult. Ooh, I know this flood gon' be biblical. Young nigga with a strong back, you got the right one. Heard you called the plumber about a leak, I'm trying to pipe some. Staring at you while you sitting down, find the right song. Flipping every switch back, we gon' leave the lights on. Hit the lights in the cam, I need action. I owe her and her friend off the back end. Can you imagine? They both started capping. Give them both a kick, hold them close, now they back friends. Hit the lights in the cam, I need action. I owe her and her friend off the back end. Can you imagine? They both started capping. Give them both a kick, hold them close, now they back friends. Trying to keep my composure and the copacetic. Now I know our connection probably more kinetic. If they knew I did it for they probably think comedic. And I got her speaking in tongues, thinking that she's Semitic. I bet the neighbors probably thinking that she need a medic. Had to peek at her feet, I got a fetish. Gravitational pull, it was magnetic. Then she told me stand up and hit it like I was mad at. Hit the lights in the cam, I need action. I owe her and her friend off the back end. Can you imagine? They both started capping. Give them both a kick, hold them close, now they back friends. Hit the lights in the cam, I need action. I owe her and her friend off the back end. Can you imagine? They both started capping. Give them both a dick, hold them close, now they back friends.
Holy Spirit when it's moving through.
Dark side, dark side.
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life work.
They talked about Jesus, give them something to Babylon. Just know my whole team is battle tested and battle strong. One world speaking that Tower Babel tongue. Cole Hammurabi thinking ancient Babylon. No pun intended, Reaganomics had us under avalanche. We took off like a rocket, they was praying we could never launch into the upper echelon. You can never be yourself. Every day is Comic-Con, fast money Ramadan. Who collected Condicom? Cold check my vital signs. Motel 6 float. Woke up with the brightest mind. Out of sight, out of idle mind. They hate it when you idolize. We living in the final times. Guess you Ellen Keller blind.
Spirit when it's moving through.
Dark side, dark side.
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life work.
Put my soul on the altar, I never offer a sacrifice. The blood that we need for the lamb ain't never acting right. I take my path tonight, knowing that I might have to fight. I probably grab a knife and a 9. I guess I'm packing light, focus on the now, just as much as the afterlife. I recognize the spirit is only taking up half the fight. Stairway to heaven, he won't make it up half a flight. He working, making bacon, bitch, probably out on the Sabbath night. Shoot for the moon,